What's up, you guys? It's been a minute. This is the Authentic Empress, and I definitely have several downloads for us. So, the other morning, I woke up and T'Challa, which is my cat, his cat bed was overturned, like literally completely upside down. And what's interesting about it is that his cat bed is in the shape of a crown. So, like I said, I woke up and it was completely upside down in the middle of the floor where it's usually like kind of closer to the wall. So, I found it to be kind of odd, but immediately I received it as a spiritual message. So, whether something's being completely flipped upside down in regards to somebody's home living situation, stability, or what they found some type of security in, or something to do with their mental health is significant. Um, Another thing I was getting to, a lot of you guys have dealt with this energy of being one going against a group or multiple people, two or more individuals coming up against you. And that could have been something that you've grown accustomed to or you've experienced a lot throughout your lifetime. And you even could have had moments where you did the severing, okay? But maybe there kind of seemed like it appeared like um, you more often than not were being isolated or whatever, pushed aside by groups or multiple people. But, the tables are turning in that manner as well because now you guys, the wise outcast, right? You're not just this outcasted energy. With this wisdom, you're choosing to cast yourself out, cast these individuals out of your energy, off of your path, your timeline, whatever the case may be, um, due to you deeming it not conducive for your growth, evolution, for your mental, emotional harmony, energetic balance, and definitely just feeling valued and appreciated. And it's also this energy of respecting the doors that the divine closed, regardless of how it makes us feel. Um, it's like, I don't know, it's just something significant about that energy for sure. Growing into finding peace with situations where, people could have teamed up to tear some individuals apart or put distance between you and someone. At the end of the day, if a toxic energy is present, so much so that they're able to manipulate or influence someone to go against their better judgment with how they handle you, it's still better to quote unquote be isolated or to be casted out from that energy. Because when you think about it, why are you being targeted, from a higher perspective? Why is it your energy that they're wanting to cast out? You're either going to have individuals wanting to hold on to your energy or wanting to cast out your energy or wanting to cast out your energy while simultaneously holding on to your energy and hoping that the energy transference is maintained via your emotional attachment to whatever horrific outcome that these people have sown, right? So yeah, and so for example, if there's a group trying to put distance between you and another person or between two individuals, more than likely what even triggered them to move that way was there was something about your energy, your spirit, your impact, your influence upon the individual that they're connected to, right? So if they're moving in a toxic energy, they don't have any real reasonable or rational excuse to actually do that, then more than likely there's some type of evil nature that's present, some type of ignorance, some type of confusion, illusions, delusion, or just flat out, like some type of plague of a sinful energy, whether that be greed, gluttony, covetousness, envy, things of that nature, right? Um, so yeah, it's still best to sever your energy because that's what completely dismantles that Four of Wands energy, whatever sense of security that that group have created for themselves. It's something about you guys being very much so more aware and conscious of when you literally do not invest or involve your energy. I'm saying if somebody's trying to bait you into an argument, literally giving them no communication at all. If someone's trying to conjure some type of rise out of you, literally giving them nothing at all. But there's something about in that preserving your energy, that preservation, instead of just spewing it out recklessly and immaturely, in that holding your energy, your authority, your self-control, your self-discipline over an energy that they're hoping to negatively influence, to conjure, to rise something within you so they can pull you into their territory. You get what I'm saying? When you completely refuse to give your energy, when you completely look at your energy the way that it actually is, as a chosen being, as a pure-hearted being, as a person who move with, you know, positive intent overall for the most part, right? You pride, justice, fairness, integrity. As someone of that nature, when you realize just how golden, just how potent your energy is, and literally nobody can do anything to you unless they have a portion of your energy, unless they can persuade you or trick you into giving them something that is vital enough, something that is actually strong enough to actually destroy you, to eat away at you, or to create some type of tear or rip in your energetic field. So I don't know, some of you guys are there, some of you guys are on your way there. This video is going to help people, you know, really, really step into that and unlock that about themselves. Like, yo, pay attention. No longer being reactive. No longer being reactive way that, because yo, the Sinners movie is literally true. Okay? You have to accept the invitation. The divine has given me a understanding of that word for the past few years now, and I've written it on my own little cards or tarot sticks that I've made. Do not accept the invite. You are being baited. You are being invited onto demonic territory. They're trying to swap places with you and want you to basically be a sacrifice. Give yourself as a sacrifice. But what we must do instead is literally starve them. Starve them. Starve them of what they're so desperately desirous of, which is your energy, which is your reaction, which is your input, which is some type of food, okay, that actually has some type of true nourishment, or it has some type of like real impact for real. So yeah, heavy emphasis on that. I pulled out my angel tarot deck, and the first card that came out was the Tower card. And the thing is, when I was sitting there thinking about T'Challa's cat bed flipped over perfectly damn near, I saw the Tower card in my mind's eye. It says, the Tower, the fire of God, disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. So it's something about whatever, you know, whatever organization was something organized, whatever was organized to produce um, some type of harvest, I'll say, some type of return on investments, whatever that is. It's just something about, even if it did produce a lot of revenue, if it seemed like a lot of gain or something came from it, there's something about how something had to be given up in relation to morality, and something about these people sacrificing some portion of their morality in order to just keep the drama going to feed off the drama, um, financially or energetically, whatever the case may be. I don't know. That's just a little detail. That's it's something about that energy being unraveled. Okay, like maybe things that went left as a result of people doing things while forsaking or at the expense of morality. There's something about whatever was swept away or hidden by all, the audience and the praise, whatever the case may be. It's something about these very things being revealed. Also, y'all, somebody is not looking the same. These individuals are not looking the same. They're not. And Spirit, the divine was telling me today, you know how literally anybody of any age can get sick, can be murdered, can get killed, can be harmed, can be molested, can speak prophecy, speak parables, can be wise. Anybody at any age, at any given time, even the mouth of babes. You get what I'm saying? With that being said, these people who try to rely on their age or whatever, their status, whatever they try to rely on to justify their unruliness, that literally does not mean a goddamn thing to the Most High. Let's really think about it. Let's really think about how in some cultures people are being wed and married, ages 13, 11, 12, 15, 17, whatever the case may be. The point is, anybody can collect some things and go and put it inside of a house. Whether they need it or not, anybody can collect and hold on to things that they should probably release and get rid of, give away, throw away, okay? And just store it in a house. What I mean by that is that every person is a house. Every person is a temple. Every person is a vase. Every person is a vehicle, meaning you can store and place things inside of a person, no matter the age, as long as it is a host. Okay? So even if it's something that's parasitic to that person, even if it's at that person's soul expense, their emotional expense, at the end of the day, what you are exposed to, surrounded by, placed around, it affects you, it impacts you. You're consuming it. So, start thinking about very intentional prayers. 11:55, 5 is highly significant as well, because we have the 4 wands on the bottom of the deck. It says God the Savior. Rectification helps one live in peace with everyone. Helps one live in peace with everyone. And what I'm getting from that is, how can a person, maintain their 4 wands in the upright? How can a person truly, remain in a place of inner security, self-security, right? Because when you think about it, that's the dismantling that adversarial forces always try to take, in their journey of provocation. You get what I'm saying? Like, they always try to create some type of insecurity within you, whether that's them trying to initiate fear, threaten you, okay, project some type of hostility towards you, um, whatever the case may be, okay, they're banking on you cowering to that energy. They're banking on you accepting the illusion that you should entertain or accept their invitation of fear. That's literally all it is. That's literally all it is. And the quickest way to dismantle adversarial methods and strategy to create insecurity within you so they can then harvest off you or place something onto you, some type of karmic debt, whatever the intention may be, even if it's just to derive some type of power or a false sense of power of themselves by quote unquote initiating fear or whatever within you. So that's the only way they can truly be successful, is to bait you into that territory. You feeling like you gotta prove yourself. You feeling like you gotta defend yourself. You feeling like, oh no, you're not gonna talk to me like that. Oh, you're not gonna address me like that. And they want you to get into this back and forth type of energy with them. No, don't give them nothing. Don't give them none of your energy. Period. Don't give them it. Starve them. Starve them. And as triggering as it may be to, these more immature souls, at the end of the day, why are you going to quote unquote events or associating with groups, you know what I'm saying, where spiritually y'all are on totally two different levels? They're not of your kind. Come out from among them. Stay away from being among them. And the thing is, with your word and deed and your covenant with the divine, they can't come among you. They can't violate whatever spiritual line that you have placed in regards to your energy. They can't. There's only but so much they can do. They only can take it but so far. But again, the illusion of the flesh, they want you to buy into the illusion of their fear mongering. That's literally what it is, fear mongering. So another thing too, like whether these groups be like jobs, fraternities, sororities, anything that's contractual, at the end of the day, everything that you do in the flesh, you do in the spirit. So if you sign a contract into an organization, whether a job or, again, whether it's like a sorority, a fraternity, whatever, you still have to sever that contract in the spirit realm, basically. And how it may show up, let's say, okay, in the physical, you've created some type of discordance, right? You separated yourself, you quit the job, you denounced whatever, okay, boom. But let's say you go to sleep and in the dream state, these energies that are involved in it, like whether it's people that's associated with the group, the actual environment, whatever, okay, in relation to it, is popping up in the dream state, right? That's because there's this push and pull of, this deity, this principality, these energies associated, trying to remain latched on to your energy, to your spirit, right? So when people talk about cord cutting and soul ties and stuff like that, soul ties is not just from building intimacy like with a friend or having sex with somebody or your relatives and your parents and stuff like that. No, you can also get yourself caught into like a melting pot, or you can create a soul tie through whatever organization that you're associated with, especially if it's contractual. Okay, so there's something significant about that as well. Okay, boom. Some of you guys could be leaving a job because you're not you don't feel like you're valued there. Okay, some of you guys are in position where you actually can do that with your life. Okay, you can pick and choose. All right. Whereas there are other individuals who are at a place in their life where they have to take what they can get. So thank God for that. Okay, because that doesn't mean that we've never been there, but thank God for that. And thank God for what we do with those moments when we're in those moments. Thank God that we don't allow ourselves to just completely unravel and just give up any ounce of divinity that we still have within ourselves in those darker moments, in those valleys. Because guess what? If you gave up that energy in those fucking valleys, you would definitely get consumed by the darkness. You would definitely get ate the fuck up. Because how are you walking through that valley with no light? Make it sense. Make it make sense. How are you walking through these valleys with no light? Without God? How? It's impossible. And there's a doubling down on that energy of people who so down to ride with God. during the valleys or in the valleys. But once they get to the mountains, they want to abandon God. When they get to the mountains, they turn their back on God. When they get to the mountains, they ignore God's voice. But as soon as they slip and fall down a couple notches, you know, you may fracture a couple bones on the way down. That's when they want to remember. That's when they want to be clear. That's when they want to have all the clarity that's necessary, and that's okay. That's fine. And unfortunately, that's what it takes for some people. That's why the word said, before pride, or what is it? After pride comes a great fall, or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Because your pride should never get to a point. It's a reason why Leo is associated with the Sun card. It's associated with the Strength card. It's associated with courage, right? And cowardliness, right? Leo also, when it's vibing low or imbalance, could be a very prideful, haughty energy. Okay, so with that being said, there's a such thing of getting to a place where pride can blind you from the reality of God, right? The coexisting with God, the covenant with God, the light of God. There's just something about this whole mix up with pride, authority, divinity, and just these words, just being kind of just blended, confused, people using them interchangeably, right? Even if it's just amongst themselves or amongst a group that is also delusional in that manner, right? Justify delusion, quote unquote. But yeah, that's what I've been getting. Like, those are the downloads I've been getting. Um, but you got the Tower card here and the Four Wands. Now, I said this before, but right behind the Four Wands, you got the Ten Wands. Revelation, protects from sadness, gives revelations in dreams, confirmation. So heavy emphasis on the dream state right now in regards to your pentacles, with the Queen of Pentacles here. Eight of Swords, something that you've been mentally conflicted about. Okay, something that you've thought a lot on, been meditating on. There's been a lot of contemplation about something. It says truth and justice, protection from enemies who will steal one's fortune. So there's, there's other ways your fortune can, quote unquote, be stolen. And that can be you investing your time and energy somewhere where you're not really valued. Okay? That can be, your energy or your purpose, your career, whatever you do, being treated like it's something that should be approached robotically or mechanically, or like just making it inhumane. Something that's humane more than anything else. Them trying to make it inhumane by how they govern you. But you should have more authority over governing yourself, right? And being governed by the divine. So whenever you start to feel some type of affliction on your spirit because of something that you're committed to, something that you're doing, whatever the case may be, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's a conflict of interest. That is a conflict of interest, especially when whatever you're doing is for the glory of God. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Spirit said it don't matter how old a person is, bro. If you out here moving crazy, moving wild, especially towards people who are innocent in a situation, bro, there will be consequences. You will not be spared because of your age. You will not be spared because you're a woman. You will not be spared because of the no, you no. You have to be corrected. You have to be taught. You have to be learned. Okay? You have to be edified, right? When you're educating and learning a skill, okay, to do something, you may not always, get it right, the first few times. It may become very frustrating. It may be irritating. You may want to throw some shit. You may want to give up for a minute. At the end of the day, though, if you want to earn that skill and improve in something so you can get or reach another destination on your path, then you're just going to have to go through the motions or choose not to. Like I said, when people get in these valleys and stuff like that, they just they forsake themselves. They forsake God, even though God said, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." We get blinded by the people, the humans, the people around us that do forsake us, that do leave us, that do switch up on us. We get blinded or blindsided by that. So what if you okay, what about the reality that today a friend of mine showed me this documentary on Netflix called Catfish or something like that, about this mother who basically harassed her daughter for 2 years via text message. Her daughter, her daughter's boyfriend, the boyfriend's friends, um shit, after ruining the relationship, the new prospect that the boyfriend tried to move on to, um just just ruining the mental health and lives of children, literally a mother. And she sat there on the documentary just talking as if, she was also concerned, trying to figure out who did it, who's doing this to her daughter. Whole time, plot twist, she did the whole damn thing to her daughter and was still in this highly lovey-dovey energy, so much so that even though she even told his daughter to kill herself, was sending very vulgar things to her, right? Her daughter still wanted her mom to be in her life. She felt like she couldn't live or exist without her. She was codependent on her. Okay? Now, I didn't watch that today for nothing, so there's something significant about that. There's something about someone abusing someone in secret for so long and conditioning them through this anonymous abuse. Okay? And some, I think they call it Munchausen syndrome or something like that. I'm not sure. Munchausen's something, but basically abused her anonymously for so long to condition her to be codependent on her emotionally. So it was like a little switcheroo she did just to remain involved and establish a very strong soul tie. Because mind you, soul tie is already there because it's mother or daughter. Okay, it's maternal. However, but to create an avoidant attachment type of style, type of energy, right? So she intentionally conditioned her so she will always be needed. So while at the same time using her to unleash all of her insecurities onto her, right? So it's like she was polluting her, she was using her to boost her quote unquote false sense of power, to boost her ego, while at the same time creating a feeding source, like creating this I forgot what it's called, the snake eating its tail effect, right? Between her and her daughter. So the point is, anybody, anybody, regardless of title, position, anybody can switch up on you. There are children who murdered their parents, whether quote unquote it was justified or unjustified. The point is, age don't mean shit. And I'm saying that because there's a lot of people who are young and they're looking old. There are a lot of people who are younger than the chosen ones and they're looking older. They're looking more aged than the chosen ones because of their soul, their spirit, their character, or their nourishment or the lack thereof of soul nourishment. Another thing I've been noticing too, there is some type of weird frequency or energy going on where, I don't know, like, I feel like I just been encountering people who are slow as fuck, like just kind of slow, like they're kind of off, like they're not all there. And it's been happening more often than not, like within the past few months. I don't know what's going on, but it's noticeable. And some of you guys may be noticing that too. It's something about people being so haste and trying to, or projecting some type of insecure or trigger that they feel from you, that they try to, like, let's say they try to downplay you intellectually, but end up being dumb, end up what they're saying not even making sense, and showing their stupidity or their ignorance by trying to outsmart you or downplay your intelligence or your prudent manner of communication, while the whole time being wrong, loud as hell, loud and wrong. So it's something about that energy too, about people who are loud and wrong, humiliating themselves or being humiliated. Especially if a chosen one was the focus. So y'all, you have the power to literally turn people's energy back towards them. You have the power to not allow entry into your energetic field, your etheric field, your mind, your body, your soul. You have the power to speak and declare and decree that, so that you can literally demand adversarial, demonic, or toxic energy to bind itself to the source, and literally only allow it to flow amongst other hosts who vibrate at that frequency. See, the trick is they're trying to bait you into vibrating in their frequency. But you have to literally starve them, because otherwise they can't get there. Follow? They can't get there. They need you to lower some steps down. They need you to put a ladder down for them to come up to you, or they need you to come down to them. No. And this dream that I had, God has been bringing it back to me, like, on different days, you know, with different revelations. Okay, so this can be why we have this revelation energy here. And then for the Queen of Pentacles, we have intellectual lucidity, provides consolation and compensations of truth and justice, protection from enemies who will steal one's fortune. Okay, creating some type of disruption, warns of disasters, aids and transformation. So you could be someone who aids in transformation. You warn people of disasters, or you get dreams of warnings of disasters. Okay, you get downloads and claircognizant knowing of how to aid other individuals or yourself in transformation. Okay, you got 5-5 here again. So we got 5-5-5. We got 5-5-5-5, because the Eight of Swords is the number 14. 1 and 4 is 5. We got the Queen of Pentacles, 55. And then we had the Four of Wands, which was 5 as well. So heavy emphasis on some type of major changes, like abrupt. Okay, this could even show up in the form of some type of discord or some type of disruption, energetic disruption. But here's the thing, you get to choose. This is your opportunity to basically apply your power, because you have more power than you realize in situations where there's some type of chaos, you know, on the horizon, so to speak. It's literally those moments where, when Jesus said, "Peace be still," when they were on the boat amongst, you know, this rainstorm, while they were on the ocean, and everybody, the group, their initial impulse was to panic, right? But you had that one person who just had that deeper understanding and just chose peace, didn't give or pour their power, their energy into the already present chaos. If anything, he did the complete opposite. And that's what we have to do. Those are literally those moments, like when people come to us or try to bait us into some type of emotional uproar, conflict, discordance. You have to literally do the opposite. Choose peace. Choose not to accept the invitation. Choose not to feel like you got to prove yourself by going, oh, okay, boom. Let's say somebody come to your door with the bullshit. Would it make sense to open the door or leave the door closed. Leave the door closed. You don't have to prove anything by trying to one up them through, some type of verbal dispute or nothing like that. You have the Justice card and the Hermit here. King of Swords. King of Swords. No, you can just debate it. You can basically defend yourself in mind. You can defend yourself in spirit. Ace of Pentacles, the Hermit, King of Swords, Justice card. All these major arcanas. You're a major arcana. You are a major arcana. And what is it? The wise outcast. You're not outcasted for no fucking reason. And ain't it crazy how when everything come full circle, people have no choice but to realize that, nah, these things that you were outcasted out of, or things that you chose to outcast yourself from, was based on wise decisions, was based on strategy, was based on a higher knowledge and understanding that these people were very lag and delayed in grasping. And ain't it amazing how people can steadily surround themselves with somebody or somebodies so often? But a person who doesn't, this hermit energy, they get the star. Exactly. God, the just. You got number 5 again, 32. Clemency and equilibrium protects against attacks in the courts. With the King of Swords and the Justice card here, this is spiritual court. This is spiritual court, okay? The Emperor, confirmation. You got another 5, y'all. 41. 4 swords, the God of Trinity, mission, protects against slander and impious people. Political authority gives safe travel and protects against conspiracies. So it's something about, whatever, people developing conspiracies about you, or, why you went through certain things, why your life looks the way that it looks right now, blah, 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 blah. But the actual reality is that the Most High got you moving in this King of Swords energy, this Hermit energy. The Most High got you moving in an Emperor-like energy with strategy and tact, with wisdom, okay? There's something about individuals probably even trying to convince others or convince themselves that what you're doing or how you're doing something is wrong, is unrighteous, is of the devil, whatever the case may be, okay? It says, desire for knowledge protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. You got the Hangman. Only God, the only God. So I feel like with that, fuck what the hell they got to say, bro. Fuck what they saying. Bro, fuck what they are saying. Especially if they move in an adversarial energy more often than divinity. Fuck what they got to say, bro. That's all they can do, for real. Fuck what they saying. Fuck what they talking about. Because only what God says matters. Nothing even matters. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that song by Lauryn Hill. Nothing even matters. Okay? There's something about her energy as well. You can have like a Lauryn Hill type of energy. You can have a Andre 3000 type of energy. You get what I'm saying? It says 6 of Swords, the gentle God. So now we're getting a lot of 6 and 9s and 3s. Okay? 369 energy. 369 days. 369. The omniscient God. 9 of Pentacles. Submission to higher order identifies traitors and destroys their plans. See, what I love about this Angel Tarot, okay, is I feel like it gives a spiritual, a more direct spiritual reflection of the energy in tarot. For example, 9 of Pentacles, right? 33. It says the omniscient God. Submission to higher order. You submit to the Most High. You're submitted to higher order, the higher perspective of things. Identifies traitors and discord. So the 9 of Pentacles in most decks is somebody who's single, self-sufficient. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're abundant in their own right. okay? And they've derived or cultivated this harvest, this abundance by, you know, the seeds that they've sown, okay? And that person is alone with all of that abundance, and they're just one pentacle away, right? One pentacle away from that longevity, that 10 of pentacles. One pentacle away, right? So imagine what this person looks like in the spirit realm when they can identify traitors and destroys their plans. That's why they're in the nine of pentacles. That's why they're able to protect what they've grown. That's why they're able to snatch the fuck back up what's been stolen. Traitors from traitors. The fuck? That's how they're able to destroy these people's plots and plans, right? That are derived to be casted upon them. They're able to dismantle them, to just completely crumble whatever these people have done to others, or whatever the fuck they think they about to get away or do to this person is not happening. They're gonna get their shit back. They're gonna preserve their energy. Period. The Sun card, the vivifying God, restoration of life, protection from adversaries, rabies, and wild beasts. Confirmation. So you're protected from these wild, feral, you know, host beasts, okay, probably full of parasitic spiritual energies, troll energies. I feel like in regards to like troll energies, like when we think about these quote unquote, so they're showing me the scene in Shrek when they went to find Puss in Boots at the bar, and it was all these quote, you know, imaginary creatures, you know, but they were like the outcasts, you know, but they were outcasted for adversarial purposes for the most part, right? Because of some type of either that, or they were just misunderstood. So you had a mixture. You had a mix of people who were just outcasted because they were different. You had people who were outcasted because they actually were like evil villain type energies to innocent beings. Like the main character energies. They were NPCs, right? But that's what they're showing me. That's what they're showing me. Like these people, these hosts. And you got the Chariot, Archangel Michael, who is like God, period. Question mark, period. Who is like God? Perseverance, success in conflict, overcoming adversity, confirmation. So you're overcoming whatever adversarial energy, adversity that, you know, these people are trying to launch in your life, conjure through you, out of you. Because you're not giving your energy to that. You're not feeding it. You're starving it. You're giving your energy into your harvest, your Nine of Pentacles. You're calling your energy back cleansed and purified. You're returning their energy back to them and commanding that energy to stick onto them, into their energy field, and that it can only transfer back and forth amongst them and other individuals that embody that frequency with them. And may it consume them like a consumable fire. And if they continue to fuel their adversity, may it consume them until they are dust. You have the authority to use your words in that manner, while they're sitting there using your words, using their words to slander you and don't even fucking know you. They're using their words to engage in gossip but don't even have the full context for some shit that they speaking on, thinking that they're just. They're loud and wrong. And don't even realize that they're destroying themselves. Like Proverbs, like Solomon said about a woman tearing down her own house with her motherfucking mouth. Speaking from a place of ignorance. Speaking from a place of an inner polluted ocean. But who is like God? It's that simple. If I call on Archangel Michael to protect me, to guard my energy, my proximity, my property, anything connected to my energy from all manner of evil intent, if you are not like God, when Michael scan your energy, you getting booted the fuck out. It's that simple.
You can only come but so close to me. And y'all, your energy is intense. I don't give a damn what the front is. I don't give a damn what the front, with the display, with the what the project, what's being projected from these projectors. Like, it don't matter. High Priestess confirmation. It's the second time High Priestess came out. 44. Success, protection from magistrates. Mm, 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 mm. I like how the two cards that came out together, it says the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. God, the just judge. God, the teacher. Contemplation. Confirmation, I just mentioned that word. Makes the truth known in legal proceedings. People disregard the legalities in the spirit realm. Imagine being an appointed judge in the spirit and somebody who's just spiritually immature and ignorant coming up or rising up against you illegally. Okay? Okay, with God the teacher, this talks about your intellectual talent. You have intellectual talent and provides knowledge, or something about the divine providing you knowledge. Okay? But you're someone who's highly intellectual. Okay? But understand, just because a person is intellectual, that don't mean the intellect is being directed in a righteous manner. And I feel like this is why Michael is so swift and booting these people out, protecting you. Because with contemplation, you're someone, you think things through. Your gifts are fully active, where you can sit and pick up with the high priestess. You pick up on things, you detect this energy before it even fully unravels. Okay? Some decisions you understand, like you take your time on making a decision. You even give other people like the opportunity, grace. There's something about grace. You giving a good amount of grace and mercy and stuff like that. So they just drew my attention to a card from another deck that's next to me, and it's the Eight of Swords. So somebody's in the Eight of Swords energy. Somebody's in their head, or they're worried about something. They're having anxiety about something. They're anxious. Okay. And this is due to some type of judgment. You could have called judgment on these people. These people could be under judgment, or something about a bad judgment call. It's something about them being judged. Okay, we got the Five of Pentacles, the forbearing God. Something about the number 7 is significant. 7 7 here, 52 and 7. It says patience reveals secrets of nature, spreads knowledge in industry. Patience. So no, not giving any energy, not arguing back, not doing none of that. No, no, not giving anything, just being patient. Being patient. Because the thing is, secrets are going to be revealed of their true nature. Mm-hmm. Because you got God hidden in darkness with the judgment card. Atonement of errors. Destroys the power of enemies and humiliates them. Confirmation. All you got to do is be patient and give them nothing. Starve them. Give them nothing. And like I said, Spirit brought that dream back to me. Because in that dream, where I was being talked about badly, in the dream, they were basically trying to convince somebody that I was connected to. I don't even know these bitches. They know the person that I was connected to. I don't know none of these motherfuckers. For them to be speaking on me. Type shit. I ain't never had no conversation with none of these motherfuckers that had so much to say about me. Type shit. So boom, in the dream though, you got the magician card. In the dream though, there was um this layered ass house or room that we were at, And all of these people were literally on the fucking bottom floor. Sit down. They were on the lowest level, right? Sit down. And I was at the highest floor. Because the way that the stairs went around and up. I was on the highest floor looking down at these people while they're on the lowest floor, right? And then there was a feminine individual, kind of like hunched up. She was like a couple floors above that group of individuals on the lowest floor, lowest level. And but I'm looking down at everybody, and as I look around, there's nobody on the floor that I'm on, and I'm on the highest floor. And I'm just looking down, overseeing everything. You know what that's giving? That's giving hierarchy. That's giving empress, emperor, queens, kings, knights, pages. That's what it's giving. Type shit. So what the fuck I look? So you want me to jump down to my death? You want me to jump from my throne to that lower level where you're at? Okay, this is also giving. There's a movie on Netflix called, is it called Tower? I don't know. It could be called Tower. All I know is in the movie, these people are all like put into this place where they're having to survive based off this platform. I think it's called Platform. They're having to survive off this platform that raises from each floor. Like it goes all the way up to the top and then all the way down to the bottom. But it's something about by the time the platform gets all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top, like it's mainly like scraps and picked all over and messy and all type of stuff, right? And but the people have to settle with what they can get. I think it is when you get to the lowest of the low, like it's literally just scraps. And it got so bad that these people was consuming one another because there would be hardly any food left for them by the time the platform got to them, so they started eating each other type shit. This shit is really what be going on spiritually. So when you see these people, get pulled into conflict, gang activity, or, situations that go a little bit too extreme between partnerships and friendships, family ships, whatever the case may be, bro, do not give. This is what spirit reveals to me. So we literally give them a key to pull us into that energy, into that territory, or to put something inside of us that kind of consumes us from the inside out. But we have to open ourselves up to it. We have to welcome it. We have to invite it. Be conscious about saying you're welcome and who you're saying it to. And because we're so programmed to say things that open ourselves up to, other energies or spirits or entities, right? We have to be like, we just got to be more quick on our toes with that. Because, like I said, because it's conditioned and it's programmed with us, you may slip up and still say it sometimes to a random stranger just because you did a kind favor or something for them. No. So as soon as you think of that, like if you said it, out of tradition, right? Quickly double back and say, no, you're not welcome. You're not welcome into my energy type shit. Like we really have to be mindful and conscious of that because it actually works. And I'm saying that because I've literally tested it over and over. I've been testing it more often than not lately. And that's why I'm here making this video. Because I'm seeing it manifest. The Emperor, King of Pentacles. I'm not bullshitting. The Lovers. Political authority. Give safe travel and protect against conspiracies. Obedience causes harmony and peace. Calms anger in anyone. Joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples. Removes negative energy. But I feel like this is disobedience to to the source of where you gain power, energy, and life force energy. Because not everybody is gaining that from the divine. Like, let's just be realistic. Just like there's different sources of information out there, and there's free will. People can choose what sources that they choose to pull energy from, to feed off of, to gain fuel off of. And unfortunately, what happens is a lot of people find that source in one another, and then they just feed and drain from that person. But the source is supposed to be the divine. But the thing is, when people even pick people to use as a source solely, more than anything, whether consciously or unconsciously, that's kind of pulling from the source of satanic, evil, adversarial, inharmonious energies. Let's just say that, even if that's a fucking word. I don't know if that's a word. Ace of Wands, you have the patient guy. This kind of looks like the temperance card too. Fertility and multiplicity, protects against despair and helps one be patient. So that came right after a patience card. And then you have God, the refuge, Page of Swords. I know Page of Swords is can be spying. Page of Swords can be some type of information, some type of gossip, some type of documents, some type of communication or thought energy. Okay, it can even be projections. It can be telepathy. But the point is, it says there's something about God being your refuge, or you finding refuge in God, despite some type of gossip, despite some type of projections. There's something about you always being able to pull from the source of divinity to cleanse that out, to clear that out. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Nine of Pentacles in the spiritual reflection of the Nine of Pentacles energy. No, you're not taking my energy. I call my energy back to me, cleansed and purified. No, I'm not going to allow you to steal from my energy. I rebuke you. I banish you from my energetic field and from my harvest. I banish you on all timelines, realms, and dimensions from my energy, from being able to take anything from me. What? I close that portal. Whatever access points that you have found into my energy, I close it permanently. For every other lifetime moving forward, for the rest of my existence. Literally using, so again, like I just said earlier, you have people who abuse their words and abuse their thought energy. And so the wisest thing you can do is to intentionally use your words to combat and protect your Nine of Pentacles. Fuck that. Something that you, Eight of Pentacles, something that you worked for, something that you've invested in, cultivated. And that's the thing. Something else that's been coming out too. You have people who solely invested in other motherfuckers or some type of illusion or something outside of them, but nothing to do with themselves. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, with themselves, I'm saying whatever that union with them and God, the Most High is. There's not much. There's not much that they've sown there. You get what I'm saying? So they don't really have anything to fall back on. When they lose shit in the material, they don't have anything to fall back on in the spirit. What you look like arguing or getting caught up in some type of conflict or debate or fight with somebody who does nothing that's purpose driven to help anybody else in the world outside of themselves. Why stoop to their level and argue or get into some type of conflict or discordance with them when they literally do nothing to contribute to the community in a positive manner? They do nothing. They do nothing. They're more concerned about being a hot girl, about being a hot boy, about just being a baby mama, just being a baby daddy, being a drug addict, being a slut bucket, being whatever. Those are their aspirations. To sow havoc, to sow chaos, to sow discord, to sow conflict, to attempt to sow fear, to attempt to sow threat energy. That's their motivation. Those are their motives. That's how far their intellect, or rather the lack thereof, carries them. That's how far they go. So, are you truly intelligent if you feed that energy? What would that say about your intelligence? Because one of the cards that came out talks about your intellectual talent. You have a talent of intellect. So the way that you utilize it, the way that you apply it, the way that you exercise it is in a talented form. That's like how, for example, let's say somebody does the same kind of dance, a popular dance or a dance trend on TikTok, and everybody's doing this dance, right? But you have some people who do the dance better than others, right? You have billions and trillions of artists in different fields of artistry. You have, billions and trillions of skilled, workers and professionals. But you have some people who do it better than others. So even if an individual may acquire or obtain the same knowledge that you have, it's about how they execute that knowledge. How do they apply it? How do they execute it? How do they weaponize it? And do they weaponize it against, somebody's well-being? Or do they weaponize it to, if anything, protect and secure or extend someone's well-being, to improve someone's well-being or the well-being of themselves? How is that energy being executed? Now, if they're coming towards you, executing or expressing, displaying that energy in a manner that it does not reflect divinity, why the fuck would you give anything to that? Why? It makes no sense. And there's also something here. So that loud and wrong energy is also someone trying, or individuals approaching you, trying to make it seem like they're mature and with securing something, or they're going to blame something attached to them, like blame their ignorant behavior or unruly behavior towards you on some type of attachment, okay, to justify them being unruly. But simultaneously, there's some type of behavior that they're engaging in or indulging in around these attachments that are not conducive for their well-being. So it's contradiction. The irony of somebody trying to declare or justify their unruliness, trying to masquerade it as justification or righteousness, while simultaneously doing some absurd ass shit, like just completely revealing their true nature, right before you. And I feel like this is more so for you more than anything else, because I feel like it's so clear to us so that we understand. Do not feed your energy into, that bottomless pit. I want no parts with this type of energy, so I'm not, no. I thank you for, petitioning me, inquiring, and hoping that I water your garden, but I don't feel like that's something that I want to invest in. I don't see why it would be beneficial for me to help your seeds grow. If anything, I've already identified your fruits as being disruptive, destructive, creating discordance, creating chaos, fear mongering, entitlement. No, I'm not watering none of that shit with my energy. I'm not watering none of that shit with my emotions. No thanks. Goodbye. Good night. No thank you. No, not doing it. And I'm telling you, they would try to override. They would try to, look, the thief, confirmation. Seizing the moment, selfishness. I literally about to say, they will try to override your decision by trying to force themselves into your energy somehow, like just force them, like their spiritual apparatus, trying to force that into your energy field somehow. But you got the puppeteer in the fucking reverse. There's an energy here about something being unexplainable, or you being unexplainable and unapologetic. Not even choosing to explain yourself to somebody, like, who feel entitled to whatever the fuck, who feel entitled to your energy. No, I'm not explaining myself. No, I don't owe you no apology, and I'm going to move unapologetically because I don't owe you shit. The Merchant, self-worth and trade. The Astronomer, discovery. The Waker, awareness and reflection. Then you have the Gambler energy here. And the Assassin, ruthlessness and conviction. Then you have the Priest and the Aspirant, perseverance, faith, ambition, diligence, and setbacks. So there's something about you taking strategized risk, okay, whether that be in your career field or just how you're handling with people, you're handling with your energy, okay, or the divine guiding you to take strategic risk here for your well-being, okay, no longer sacrificing your inheritance, sacrificing yourself or whatever, okay. Look, you got the Queen, determination and sacrifice, as I just said something about sacrifice. The Smith. Somebody's been doing a lot of overthinking though, so that could be this Eight of Swords energy about taking some type of action towards you. Okay, so whether this could be a positive action or negative action, there's a lot of thinking towards you. There's a lot of overthinking, people fixating, ruminating on your energy, okay, whether that's for positive reasons or negative, okay, whether this is in relation to some type of sacrifice, them making some type of sacrifice in order to get to you, to be with you, to experience you again, or maybe planning or plotting some type of sacrifice towards you or your energy somehow. Okay, there's definitely the energy of determination or something about your determination being recognized. Okay, your determination, you taking action with something here because you're divinely guided, or you're being viewed as a guide to somebody, or you're providing guidance about taking some type of action or being determined, no longer overthinking. Okay, you got the Alchemist about alchemizing something here, balance, invention, and destruction, ambition, diligence, and setbacks. Again, I feel like this is talking about strategized risk, like in regards to your ambition. Okay, something that brings you whatever creates more balance for you, something that feels more balanced, more harmonized for you. Okay, so destroying or destruction of what's not conducive. Okay, what creates stress and overload and all that. Yep, the Archer, bidding your time and planning ahead. But I feel like the Archer with the captain here, it says you're taking command. You're taking command, taking control. Okay, being guided by faith and perseverance. Okay, but the Archer is like something being spot on, being on target. Okay, your intuition, your moves, your decisions, your choices. But that's all I have for you for this video. I will see you guys